Good morning. Good morning. Come on in. Come on in. Like and share. Like and share. This is a beautiful Saturday morning. So happy to have you on. Just come on in. Come on in and share. Well, good morning again, and welcome to Build Your Best Life with Coach Deborah D. Smith. I'm excited to have you here this morning because you could be anywhere else. Here on Build Your Best Life, I believe it is better to train early rather than to fix later. This year, my theme is it's all about action. And you know it is. Your words, your steps, your gestures, your postures, what you write, the different exclamation, the punctuation marks you use in your writing, even the movement of your eyes, all represent your actions. And guess what? People watch your actions. So therefore, your actions are critical. So make sure that you keep that in the back of your mind as you go on what you do on a daily basis. It is not only your words that people react to, but it is your actions. Remember, it's only 10% of what happens, 90% of we react. So again, good morning and welcome. Please like and share as we go into our topic for this morning. But my theme for February is plan, learn, and navigate. Plan, learn, and navigate. My topic for this morning is why. That's what I am going to talk about this morning. Good morning, Peggy. Thank you so much for tuning in. Glad to have you here. So yes, we're going to talk about why this. Can you remember when you were young or either when your children were young, everything that someone said, you or your child come back with, "Oh, even if you say, oh, you you're so blue. Why? There are thousands that day. Ooh, that was great. Whatever it was, you go to the store. Why? You need to pick up some items that people said. Why? But people were so inquisitive, they did not know the answers. They asked what? Why? We really wanted to know. So why is it different now? Why is it that when someone makes a statement, hears something, you don't ask why? Say bye bye. If someone makes a statement, it may be true, it may not be true. But you ain't even bother to say anything. Just let it fly by. So if something is not clear, you need to do what? Ask. It's okay. You know? And there are a lot of people, you can ask them a question, excuse me, and they don't know the answer. But they will not. They don't know if it's their egos or what it is. they will not say, I don't know if it's your superior, your professor, boss, friend, parents, whomever. If you ask them a question and they don't know the answer, they should be willing to say, I don't know. Let's find out together with you. But it's better to say, I don't know, to give some flimsy response based on what you think. Unless you say you are not sure I would think that's different. Just to say give the answer and you don't know the answer. That's not good. There are so many people today that do that. They have no earthly idea of the answer. But what they go to the explanation. So, that's something that we should make sure that we, just don't let what I got. We need to keep going, keep moving to find out what's going on. Good morning, Pamela. Thank you for tuning in. So we just rely on what someone says. So I'm going to give you some tips as well to get you out of that mode of just depending on what someone else says, what they tell you. Somebody says this is possible. That's what teachers do, like child, pastor, whoever. Everybody doesn't sound, you know, oh, well, like, oh, you can do it, do it, well, you read it and it was 8. And you've heard people say other answers, so that's why you were asking to clarify. So this person tells you 5. Now you read that it's 8. So why do you just let it go? Why don't you say, well, now I am confused because I read in Genesis that it was 8. So don't just go on. You have to ask those whys sometimes. But here are some tips. Now, just because someone states something, that doesn't make it true. That's the first thing. Everything that someone says does not have to be factual, doesn't have to be right. Okay. Number two, you have to realize that everyone is what? Human. That includes myself, you. Everyone is human. Everyone makes mistakes. That's why we have to ask for forgiveness. So anyone at any time can make a mistake. I remember one day I was doing one of my lives, and I made a statement and my husband pulled me on it later on. He said, well, why would you even say that? I'm like, say what? And he told me what it was that I said. And I was like, I wouldn't even say anything like that. No one, because he was saying that I said that someone was perfect. I mentioned someone's name and said they were perfect. And I was like, I wouldn't say that because no one's perfect. You said it, blah, 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 blah. So he had to show me because I know that nobody's perfect. So we had to go back and listen at the video. But in the context of what I was saying, I didn't use the correct words. So I was not saying that the person was perfect. What I was saying was, um, but without going rehashing all of that, I think what I was saying was, people raise their children in different ways, and some people may say that a person is spoiled, they got everything they wanted, blah, 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 blah. And if you do that in a child's life, they will not be mature and know how to act and have basic life skills when they get older. And so, what I was intending to say is, here's an example of someone, yes, they were spoiled, blah, blah, blah. But I said, but they came out perfect. That's not what I meant. I didn't mean they came out perfect. I meant they came out okay. That did not stop them from learning life skills, being mature. They didn't just grow up to be this horrible person that thought the world owed them a living, is what I was trying to say. But I misspoke. So I got called out on it. So, that's what you have to do because we are human and you make mistakes. And the third point I want to say on that is that you have to say something. Just as the example I gave about Genesis, if someone was up speaking, just like say you were in youth church or whatever, and the person was speaking, one of the youth, and they said, they gave that scenario. Well, Noah was on the ark, and along with the animals, there were 5 people on the ark. Okay, if everybody sit there and nobody says anything, what's going to happen to every youth that's there? If they don't know or they never knew the answer to it, they're going to go away from that setting thinking there were 5 people on the ark. And guess what? Some of them are going to repeat that wrong information. If you are sitting there, whether you are one of the leaders or you are a child that has read and you know that that's not the right answer, well, I'm going to let you ask questions later. It has something to do with something I said? Yes. Okay, what's your question? Well, you just stated that there were 5 people in the ark. And I was, it just so happens that I just recently read that. And I thought there were 8. I thought that there was Noah, his wife, and then his 3 sons and their wives. So wasn't there 8? And then, it's not to throw the person under the bus, but you don't want everybody to walk away with the wrong perception. So they can easily say, oh, yes, you're correct. It was 8. And just let it go at that. They don't have to say, well, I was wrong. Thank you for correcting me. But they may come up to you later on and say something. But that way, you're not letting that elephant in the room just sit there that, different people know, well, that's not the right answer, but nobody's saying anything. And then those that don't know, they're leaving there with incorrect information. So always find a way to point out something or continue to ask why if things are not clear. Okay, the second thing that I want to point out is, asking ourselves why can help us to understand why we do what we do. And that may sound weird, but like ask yourself why. Well, yes, Are you that person that as soon as your food comes to the table, whether you're at home, a restaurant, at a gathering, the first thing you do is grab the salt and start shaking? At some point, you need to ask yourself why, because I am sure that at some point you're getting some food that is so salty you probably don't want to sit there and eat it. Ask yourself, well, why is it that I do that? Is it because at home I have to cook a certain way? I have to cook foods bland because of someone's diet at home. So I don't cook with salt. So of course I have to add salt. Or, why is it? But if that's the case, then what should you be doing though? Should you just be immediately putting salt on everything? No, you should what taste it first. So you need to stop and ask yourself that question sometimes, because people probably look at you like, what in the world? You're just adding salt. Because I season my food. So if you came to my house and you sit down and you start dumping salt in your food, you probably won't be able to eat it. So that's one of the things. And I've heard people say, oh, I'm tired. It's 12 o'clock and I'm tired. Why are you tired? Because I've been up since 4 o'clock. Why you been up since 4 o'clock? Because I go to bed at 7, so I get up at 4. Why? I don't know. Somewhere along the way, my clock got off. And so I just go to bed at 7 and get up at 4. Okay, is that something that you want to continue doing? If so, fine. If not, you need to stop and ask yourself, okay, why am I really doing this? I don't want to get up that early. That is wrecking my entire day. It's making me tired midday. What is it that I need to do to adjust my clock? Because sometimes you have to do that. You may be sick and your sleeping gets off, so you have to go back and adjust it. Because if you get into a routine, you actually don't need an alarm clock. You'll wake up at that same time every day. So, but you have to ask yourself why. If you're doing something out of habit and you don't know why you're doing it, you don't really like that habit, but it's going to continue if you don't ask yourself why. All right. We have some people that still in 2022, when your vehicle is going to make all this noise if you don't wear their seatbelts. And I cringe if I get in the car with somebody and they don't put on their seatbelt. So it's like, uh, you don't have on your seatbelt. Why you don't have on your seatbelt? I don't know. Okay, so if you're anywhere around anybody that looks at the news, even if you don't, you know that seatbelts saves lives. So why would you not wear your seatbelt? You can get a ticket for not wearing your seatbelt. You can die from not wearing your seatbelt. Why would you not put on your seatbelt? And then you sit there and ding, 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 ding. It might not be driving you nuts, but it's driving the rest of the passengers nuts. So why? Ask yourself why. Do I have a phobia about it? Do I think if I buckle myself in and I have an accident, I'm not going to be able to get out? Why is it that I won't? Do I want to set an example for my kids? I don't care if they wear them either. Sometimes you have to ask yourself those questions. Why? I want a savings. I don't have a savings. I don't understand. My bills are reasonable. They're manageable, but I can't seem to get a savings going. What's going on? Ask yourself why. Why is it that if I make more money, then all of my bills, everything, all my healthcare needs, all my beauty needs, what's happening to the money? Why can't I save anything? Then you need to sit down and figure out why. Do you have a budget? Are you following the budget? Are you buying everything that everybody asks you to buy, whether you're going to use it, throw it away, give it away, or whatever? What are you doing with the extra money? So you have to ask yourself why, so you can do better or get to the point that you want to. You got to ask why, right? So those are the things that will help you in that area. The next area is asking why, because it will assist you in learning more. No, I believe in lifelong learning. I don't believe that I will ever get too old that there's not something that I can learn. As you know, you see the little ones now, the little toddlers, as soon as they can get their hands on a book or a tablet, they're learning colors, patterns, words. They're learning. And we have people in their hundreds getting their doctorate degrees. We can continuously learn. So if there's something going on in or around us and we don't know the answer, we don't know what's going on, ask why, find out why, what's going on. Okay, so it's going to help you to develop yourself, have stronger skills. Because for number one, you may think you understand something, but you're really not sure. But if you ask the person that you know will be able to give you that answer, then what? You are learning something, because it may be totally different than what you think. You know, and I'm trying, as I say this, I'm trying to think of an example of something. Um, let's just say you never heard of a tsunami, and someone, so you say, well, you know, I just saw in the news that all these people were killed due to a tsunami. What? What is that? What happened? Can you explain more? Now, I don't know. So what I'm going to say is not the real thing. This is just what I think. So if you thought that that was just where something flooded, and then you're told, no, it's not a situation of flooding where it's like in a hurricane, because all the rains and the winds and the waters rise and rise and rise, that you that's why the waters rise, and that's a hurricane. But with a tsunami, it's like it starts out in the ocean, and it's like a rogue wave, and it builds and builds and builds until it is this huge. I mean, thinking Empire State Building high waves, and they completely are moving as they're growing until they hit the area that where they are going, and it floods and demolishes and whatever. Now that is not what a tsunami is, but based on what I've seen and little I know, that is what I would say. But let's just say that that's the 100% answer. Then you would not, by asking what it is because you didn't know, then you then would know. Okay, I hope that makes sense. But sometimes we think we know something and we really, really don't have the answer to it. We're just going on assumptions, right? Um, or we think we know the answer and we don't. So this is an example. This is a good one. So your grandchild comes in and they say, Nana, I need help with my homework. Okay, so what is it? Math. Okay. You know how to multiply, Nana? Yes. Okay. So they give you this paper and you look, your eyes get crossed and you're looking at it like, what is this? It's my mathematics, Nana. That's not how you multiply. Yes, it is, Nana. Okay, because when I was in school, we took um, the two numbers and we multiplied them. Uh, well, we just put them one under the other and multiplied them from right to left using carrying and using one number at a time, and then we added the totals together. They use like a table or graph where they put, one number across the top and the other number going down, and then they multiply that way, crossways, and then they have to add it. And I was like, oh my goodness. So to my grandchild, Nana didn't, I had no clue. But guess what? Nana went on Google and Googled it, and Nana figured it out. So then Nana was able to help with the multiplication. But Nana learned something. So you can always learn something, but you have to ask why. So if that child had sat there and just let me do me, they would have went back to school, showed their work, and their teacher would have been like, what is this? But because that child, you know, knew like Nana, that's not right. So then Nana had to learn something. So you can, like I said, lifelong learner. You can continue to learn things, but asking that why, doing that digging to find out that why, if you don't know, it helps. So, and I know you all remember those trips on the road. All right, we're going to turn here. Why? This the way we get where we going. But why? I thought you said we were going on a number that was a 7 and a 5. This is 10. Okay, but we have to go 10 before we get to 75. But 75 don't come after 10. So why are you going this way? And sometimes we have to dig just that hard. And this last one, assist others who are reluctant to speak out. Excuse me. Everyone is not going to be willing to say anything or speak out. You're just going to sit there. You can be in a class and the professor can be writing down a problem, and they should have, and they're writing it from the book, so you have it as well. But they're writing it on the board, and they put y plus x equals 2y. And the book actually says y plus 2x equals. And everybody just sit there and nobody says anything, but somebody's going to have to go up to the board and solve that problem. Then it's not going to be the answer that the professor has in the book. So everybody just sit there, nobody say anything. Okay, point it out. It's no big deal. Excuse me, professor. But you wrote something down wrong in the problem. Oh, thanks. Good call. It's okay. It is okay. You can sit in a class, and I've done this. I got to say I'm guilty now. A lot of times I'll speak up and ask, but I have been guilty of this as well. But you sit there and they're talking about this concept and they're writing it down and you think you have it. And then it's like, nah, I'm not getting it. And you're just sitting there. Okay, I'm going to figure it out later. I guess everybody else understands, so I shouldn't say anything. I'm just going to sit here. Then somebody raises their hand. Excuse me, Can you go over that one more time? I thought I had it when you started, but when you added that last step, I got confused. Oh, no problem. Oh, yeah, God. Thanks, God, for asking that question because I was lost. You asked, you saved everybody's butt because there was not only you, there's probably several other people sitting there that hadn't a clue. That was the time to ask. So you not only help yourself a lot of times, but you will help others. But just as, and my whole point here today is I don't care if you're 5, 20, 25, 40, 60, 90, you're going to have questions. You're going to want answers. You want the truth. Ask. Ask. As an innocent child can ask and get the answers. Well, they may wreck your nerves asking why. They don't know and they want to know. So if you don't know and you want to know, why is it not okay for you to ask? So why? That is my why today. When you want to know something, you want more information, if you're not clear, if you just need to know, ask. Sometimes that asking that is, as the examples I gave about, you have to ask yourself sometimes, why is it that you do certain things? But all of that, ties back into your actions because there is someone watching you while you're watching others, and your actions determines your entire life. So if you're not clear, you don't know, it's best to ask a why. So I hope that this has helped you today. Please share it with someone else that it can benefit them. I'm sure there was someone that was not on here and you thought, I was thinking about my grandson. He won't ever ask why. He just sit there and just look at you. I was thinking about my granddaughter. I was thinking about my daughter. I was thinking about my students. So please share, share, share. And I thank you. I appreciate you following me and finding out what your students, your children, your grandchildren, your mentors, your coaches, what they need in order to build their best lives. So thank you so much for always tuning in. Please follow me on my website. It's on the screen, www.buildyourbestlife.org. On there, you can find out more about my platform. If you just happen upon this video, please go to my website, find out more about what I'm doing, find out more about myself. You can read my blog that comes out each Monday on the page. As well, you can find out about the services that I offer, which is coaching, consultation, speaking, and webinar speaking. As well, you can get an autographed copy of my book, Build Your Best Life. It is a book that will help everyone, regardless of your age, your gender, your education level. There is something in here that will definitely help you. It's about your life, your actions, and your credibility. So please check out my website. Good morning, Cynthia. Thank you for tuning in. So thank you so very much. But again, thank you, because you could have been somewhere else. Please join us Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And remember, your life is what you make of it. Please follow my basic principles. Excuse me. Please follow my basic principles to begin to make yourself the best that you can be. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, but now. Now is the time. And remember, building your best life is our business. That's not a slogan, it's our commitment. I love you. Be blessed. Stay safe. Enjoy your weekend. And I hope to see you right back here on Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye bye.